Love is going to cost me my freedom. Or I've worked so hard to build this life. What if I lose it when I fall in love? You don't have to give up your independence or your dreams when you have the skills to attract someone who is a match for you, for what you really value in life. If you've ever stayed single longer than you've wanted to, it's probably because I'm so happy to be here with you today. My name is Michelle, and if this is your first time, I'd like to welcome you to Love Chat with the Love Twins. Love Chat, it's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, unless we have an event happening. And it's every week we come here and we give you support, coaching, training on how to create yourself as an irresistible woman who gets to have an extraordinary life and extraordinary love. It's the end of July. When you look back at the beginning of the year, was calling real love into your life something that you promised yourself you were going to do, or something that you really envisioned doing? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. Was that something that you told yourself at the beginning of the year? I want to call in real love this year. Maybe you said, this is my year for real love. I'm ready. Yeah, Lisa says, yes, that was something I told myself. Kelly, yes, that's something I told myself. All right. So you tell yourself you're ready for love. This is your year for love. And here we are, deep into the second half of 2025. And some of you have been able to create that. And some of you are wanting to create it. And if you're honest with yourself, maybe love still feels like it's off at a distance for you. Or maybe you've been so focused on work, on your personal growth, on healing, on your family, on your children, on your parents, on traveling, that you've become a bit distracted. Yet that whisper in your heart won't go away. And it keeps asking, what about the love that I want? What about that love? So I want to ask you, where are you with your love goals this year? Did you start the year saying, this is the year I'm going to call in real love? And if so, how is that going? So go ahead and tell me in the chat. Where are you at? If you're in a program and you're working on that, if you're online, if you're not doing anything, if you're dating, but you find it challenging to be out there in the dating world right now because you're not attracting the kind of man that you want, or maybe you're already in a relationship or you feel like something's missing, or maybe something's fizzled out and you want to get back into that connection, into that desire that you had at the beginning. All right, Kelly says, right now, nowhere. So Kelly, what does that mean? Thank you for being so honest. What does that mean? Are you not dating? Are you not doing anything? Are you dating, but you're not being successful? I really want you to think about this because, it is July. We're going to be in August and just, by the end of this week. And there's still time. There's still time to turn this around. But you got to be honest about where you are right now and what the gap is between where you are and where you want to be. Okay, Veronica says, I choose to love myself first. It is still overwhelming. Okay, so Veronica, thank you for your response. I want you to be listening for, what if I could have both? What if I could love myself and not be overwhelmed? Now that's going to open you up to listening to today's love chat in a different way. Kelly says it's been very challenging, online dating, but not clicking with anyone. So you're out there, you put your profile out there, but you're not really connecting with anyone. And says, I need help. All right. So I'm so glad you ladies are here and you're being intentional about being here and you're actually communicating and interacting with me, because this is going to have today's session be even more powerful for you. So if you're feeling, and this could be a feeling you're feeling like time is running out, or maybe you're feeling like you're too busy. It's been too busy. Things are just piling up. Or, like Kelly said, love feels like it's just not happening. That may sound like bad news, but I've got some good news for you, okay? Now, today is not just any other Tuesday. Today is your wake-up call. All right, I want you to consider that today is your wake-up call. We're going to wake up that desire, but not only desire, we're going to give you something that's going to allow you to create or to have that desire become reality. So this is your activation moment to ignite your love vision and create the relationship you desire before Q4 comes around in a few months. All right, so I want to get right into it. Lisa says, I am in the Ready for Love. Yeah, you're ready in the Ready for Love Now program, and it's helping me get my love vision clearer on love in all my relationships, including the one to yourself. So that's why I shared with Veronica. There's a way to be active in your own personal growth and really loving yourself up and getting connected to the woman that you are, and also creating momentum and movement in your love life. There's a way to do both. Love gets to be intentional, and you're going to find out why that's so important. So let me speak to the heart of the high achieving woman, you that's watching right now. It may feel like you're stuck, but I want you to know that you are not stuck. You're not stuck, and you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you, and you don't need to be fixed. And I want you to let that into your heart, because a lot of times we may not say that aloud to other people, but we'll say that to ourselves. And then your brain is constantly hearing what you're saying to yourself, and it's registering it as true, even if you say it in a moment of just frustration. So the way that we speak to ourselves as we're creating who we get to be for ourselves, in our lives, in love, in dating, the brain is always listening for, what do you really believe about that? And then the body, the mind, everything aligns with that. So this is why having a clear love vision is so very, very, very important. So you're not stuck or broken. There's nothing wrong with you. We don't have to fix anything about you. But you do need to check your energy. See, high-level women often walk around with this unconscious belief: love is going to cost me my freedom. A relationship is going to have me slow down in my life, and I'm rising up right now. Or I've worked so hard to build this life. What if I lose it when I fall in love? Because it's happened before. Or it's so challenging and so hard, I don't even know where to start, and I don't want to put any more energy into that. I'm putting energy into things that I feel I can be successful at. These are common unconscious beliefs that high-level women walk around with. And so what happens when we are walking around with those beliefs is you're going to attract men who are not your equal. This is why it feels hard. I want you to stay with me here, because it feels hard because inside of that energy of those beliefs, and all your beliefs carry energy, and that energy creates a certain way that you are about it. The way, not just the way you relate to dating and relationships, but you become a certain way about it. What's one way that you become about it when you think that it's overwhelming, when you think that you're going to lose yourself, when you think that it's too hard, when you think that it's very challenging? What's a way that you become about love, dating, and relationships? Because that energy inside of that way of being is going to have you attract a certain kind of man that's attracted to that energy. Okay, Andrea says, I pull back. So what kind of man do you attract when you pull back? I put walls up. So when you pull back, not available. Guess what kind of men you're going to attract? When you put your walls up, guarded, emotionally unavailable. Unmotivated, you'll attract men who are not motivated, or you'll attract men who are motivated to control you. And then they become your motivation, or they become where you experience your validation. Okay, I become needy. So then you attract men who are attracted to the energy of a needy woman, which is not a man who's going to empower your dream, and is not necessarily a man who's going to take care of you. He's going to make sure you have to need him. So this is the stuff that not everybody talks about, but we talk about it. Gladys and I talk about it because we've been doing this for a long time, and we know what gets in the way and how to get to the other side of it. So when you're in these energies, thank you ladies for sharing, what happens is you start to attract men who are not your equal. Not that they're less than you, they're just not there where you are. They're not equal to the vision you have for love. And quite frankly, if your vision for love is that it's hard, they may be who you're attracting. The ones who make it hard, the ones who make it challenging, the ones that make it feel like it's overwhelming. So instead of that energy, you're going to attract men who are not your equal. You may attract men who admire you, but they're going to be intimidated, or they're going to feel like they're in competition with you or your life or your success. They're not going to be able to meet you where you're at. And some of those men will try and bring you down. Now, I know that that kind of man exists, just like I know that extraordinary, high quality, high level men exist. But they're in a different energy, and they're attracted to a different kind of energy. That's why this conversation is so important. So in that energy, another thing that you may attract is men who aren't all in, because deep down you're not all in either, because there's something that's stopping you from going all the way in to your vision and your commitment. So if you've ever found yourself trying to tone it down or play it cool, or feel like you have to be someone that you're not, or feel like you have to lose something in order to be in a relationship, we're going to call that toning it down. So toning your vision down. So if you've ever felt like you've had to tone it down because it's too hard, it's too this, it's too that, go ahead and type TID in the chat for tone it down. You haven't really gone all the way in. There's something that you know is blocking you, and you become needy, you withdraw, you put your walls up, you become unmotivated, you resist. So type TID, because yeah, I've toned it down. This is just acknowledgement. This is not any guilt trip or making yourself wrong. It's acknowledging something. See, because when you can make yourself responsible, or you can not even make yourself, when you can acknowledge that you're responsible because you've played a role in it, you're going to get all your power back to do something about it. When you act like it's happening to you, you have no power. So you deserve a man who's a real partner, and who doesn't just accept your power, but he adores it. Who doesn't just accept you, he adores you. You really do deserve that. But to call in that kind of love, you've got to be in energetic alignment with that vision of being adored, of being able to attract somebody who will adore you and that you will adore. So you get to be in energetic alignment with your vision, not with your fears and your limiting beliefs, because those fears and limiting beliefs are thoughts, and they carry energy, and then you become a magnet, an energetic match for what you don't want. We get to shift the energy so that you're aligned with your love vision and the woman that you really are. So if you've ever stayed single longer than you've wanted to, it's probably because you feel like it either isn't really going to happen for you, or if it does happen for you, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose something about yourself. And that fear is deeply rooted in old experiences from the past. But here's what happens when you might know that. You might know, yeah, that has to do with my relationship with my father, with my mother, with something I went through when I was a child, or even with my ex. You might know that logically and cognitively. But this kind of work, we call it the heart work, it doesn't work at the level of your head. There's cognition involved for sure, but it's also connected to your heart and the feelings that have been repressed or shut down or made wrong. The parts of you that feel like they're broken, but they're not. They've just broken off. So that those old fears and beliefs, you might know that they're rooted in something from the past, but notice how knowing that has not really made any difference. If it had made the difference, we'd be having a different conversation. So let's get closer to what will make a difference. Those fears create a model where love shows up as sacrifice, loss, hardship, suppression, but not expansion. Not the kind of expansion that happens when you're in a healthy, happy, loving relationship. And the truth is that healthy love doesn't shrink your life. It actually expands it. It doesn't cost you your dreams. It supports them. You know, before I started doing this work, I was attracting all the guys who lied, they cheated, they were in and out of like, I want this, I don't want this. Oh, I want to hang out, but I don't really want commitment. And all I wanted was to be in a relationship. And I thought that saying that over and over again was going to make a difference. Here's the thing. What kind of relationship did I want to be in? Because they were offering either a situationship or a friends with benefits or a relationship that wasn't healthy. So you can't just want a relationship. And when I got really clear on the kind of relationship that I wanted, what I wanted more than anything else in the world is a relationship where I can be myself and my partner can be himself. And when we are together, we bring out the absolute best in each other and we thrive together and we support one another. And when one of us is in a situation where we feel, brokenhearted and like everything's falling apart, the other one is there to lift them up and remind them of who they are. Those were the things I wanted, and to be able to communicate about anything openly and calmly. When I started getting more and more clear about that, I realized I wasn't being that. I wasn't being that for myself, and I certainly didn't have it to give to somebody else. And I wasn't all in. I was hopeful, which is not the same thing as being committed. You can be hopeful that love's going to happen, or you can be committed that it happens. And it's going to bring out a whole different energy. How many of you can see that? If you can see that being hopeful carries one energy and committed carries another energy, type C in the chat so that I know that you're with me, so I know that you're getting this. So you don't have to give up your independence or your dreams when you have the skills to attract someone who is a match for you, for what you really value in life, for what it is that you want to experience in the relationship, for who you want to be in a relationship. When you have the skills to do that, you can attract a man who not only finds you attractive, and that not only that you're attracted to them, but this man is attracted to the kind of woman you are, and he can't imagine living his life without you. That's what we're playing for. Someone who you can laugh with, grow with, build your life with, that kind of person. And that kind of relationship doesn't happen by hoping, and it doesn't happen by accident. Even people who say we just met, no, there was something that was going on energetically. And there had to be some kind of a vision about what it could look like for them to recognize it in each other. So it doesn't happen by accident. My husband has the best quote. He says, extraordinary relationships don't just happen. They're created moment by moment. That became a motto from the time that we were dating. So extraordinary relationships happen by design. And that's what I want to invite you to start doing today. And I'm going to give you something or talk to you about something. I'm going to give you something that will actually get you there. So if you've created your career, and you've also created, some of you may have created what you want your health to be like, your body to look like, your business to look like, what you want your family to look like. Any area that you're excelling in, you created a goal in that area and you have skills for that. So I want you to know that you have skills to build this too, to build the love life that you want, especially when you start relating to yourself as capable of doing it. Now, you may not know how to do it alone, and some people need support with that. That's what we're here for. But there is a way for you to do that. You just need to first to get clear. And I'm talking CEO level clear, like the CEO level clear of your love life. Your vision gets to look like it's completely in alignment with who you are at your core. Not someone you have to become, not someone you have to turn into, who you are at your core, and not even the you that you become when you get frustrated. or when you feel like you have to put up a wall. That's not you anyway. That's your past. I'm talking about the you that you know is there, that gets blocked off by something else or got shut down by something else or someone else. So you have to start asking yourself, what do I really want? Not surface, and certainly not from your fears, but from your heart's desire. Who do you want to be in love? Like, how do you want to show up? What's the kind of woman you want to be for yourself and for your partner? And what do you want to feel? What do you want to experience in this relationship and share in this relationship and co-create in this relationship? All of that gets to become very, very clear. But notice that if you don't believe you can be it, it gets scary to think that you can create it. So it has to be clear, because if you have a vague vision, you're going to create vague results. And some of you have already shared, like the challenging, the overwhelmed, the hard, the not knowing. That's coming from a vague vision. Having a specific intentional vision is what attracts aligned, emotionally available, high caliber men, I should say. Sorry, I meant to say men. That's what attracts them. That's what gets their attention, because you will be in an energy of somebody who knows exactly what she wants, not from a place of entitlement, from a place of desire, from a place of worthiness, but not better than, from a place of readiness, but not trying to drive the bus, like trying to drive the show, throw it, like stuff it down their throat, trying to get somebody to do something. It's not about that. It's a completely different energy. So, do you know what kind of relationship would actually support your next level in life and in love? Because if you don't, it's time to get clear. So, like I said at the beginning, Q4 is around the corner. And there's still time for everything to change. You are not too late. The majority of the women that we work with, the ones that really, they come to our events, but they also join our programs, and they get that support, that support every single day, where they can ask a question and get a skill and let go of the past and transform themselves. The majority of the women we work with, within 3 to 9 months, they're in the relationship of their dreams. 3 to 9 months. So for sure you could be in it before the end of the year. And that's a big promise to make. Now, I'm not saying you're going to do it, because if you don't do the work, if you don't show up, for sure you can't create it. But if you show up and you do the work and you put your intention and commitment into action, you have a really great shot, because we have been so successful at doing this in the lives of so many women. We've already celebrated 2 weddings this year. One of them is, I keep their pictures right in front of me. This is one of my best friends who came and worked with us in our Ready to Love Again program and was able to get married in June. Was it June? Yeah, it was June. So it feels like yesterday. And she was somebody who was in a relationship that was very dysfunctional. And we were having lunch one day, and she's telling me all the buts this and buts that. And, well, this is just the way it's going to be for me. And I was like, no, that's not the way it has to be for you. There is another way. If you're willing to show up to this event, come and find out. And she came to the event. She signed up for our program, and she's married now. And they are in one of the most loving and healthy and beautiful relationships. And I'm not the only one who says it. Everyone who knows them says it. They truly inspire with the love they have for one another. And if you would have asked her that day sitting across from me at lunch if this kind of love was going to be possible for her, she would have told you no. But there's a watered down version of the watered down version of the watered down version, and that's what I'm going to have. But somebody took a stand for her. I took a stand for her, and I'm taking that stand for you today. Q4 is quarter 4 of the year, Claudia. So like the last 3 months of the year. That's what that means. All right. Okay, so you get to change everything. You can still create your love story. And the kind of love story that elevates everything in your life, not just your love life. Everything gets elevated in your life. All of your relationships, career, money, finances. We have those kind of testimonials, but that only gets to happen if you move with intention. And if you take that move right now, you've done the work today, and you get to let love meet you. Open the door so love can meet you right where you're at. Get your love vision ignited. You deserve it. It's time. So let's get to it. All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here and for the way that you participated. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's love chat. Until our hearts meet again, always, always, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now.